Hey, what's up YouTube? In this video, I'll be showing you how to make another suburban style house. Oh, and by the way, just in case you have any more house related needs, feel free to check out the card system and the links below down in the description for my various house tutorial playlists. Odds are, if you like this house, you'll find loads of other stuff that you'll love as well. Moving on to the tutorial itself, however, if you want to make it, here's what you're going to need. You will need some block of quartz and some birchwood planks. Also, grab yourself some quartz stairs and some stone brick stairs. Then grab yourself some quartz slab. You will also need some birch vents. And finally, grab yourself some white stained glass paint, and those are the only materials that you're going to be needing. So once you have each one of those, and once you've figured out where you want to make it, I'll be making it right here. You're going to want to kick off your house with a row of 31 block of quartz in a row on the floor. That's 31. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31. Just like that. And once you have your row of 31 block of quartz in a row like that, actually, before I continue, I should let you guys know, this row of 31 block of quartz is the back of the house. This is the very back row of your house. This is where the back of the house is going to be. The entrance is going to sit roughly, I would say, about here, where I just placed that single block of quartz. It's going to be roughly there, just to let you guys know, so you can plan where you actually want your house to be. I know that some of you like to know that information. However, once you have got your row of 31 block of quartz, this is what you want to do next. So come all the way to block number 1, this most left-hand block. Coming out in front of this block, so towards you, like this, do a row of 8 quartz. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Then go right of this 8th block by 9. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Then come towards you by 5. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then go right of you by 13, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Then come towards you by 5, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then go right of this 5th block by 8, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Just like that, and if everything's went correctly, you should then be able to connect that 8th block all the way back to the 31st block of the outline. And what you want to end up with is a shape that should look kind of like this. It actually kind of looks like a pistol or a really wonky set of stairs, something like that. Now, once you've got that taken care of, guys, this is what you want to do next. So, on top of that row of quartz, you want to stack a row of birchwood planks, and this row of birchwood planks just wants to sit directly on top of it, and it just wants to trace along the entire shape that you've made. So just go all the way around, guys, and just trace along the entire shape that you've just made here. So we'll just do this with the birchwood planks, and then we can move on to the next bit. The next bit, we're actually going to be installing all of the windows. We're going to be marking out all of that. So you want to end up with something that should look a little bit like this. We've added some nice wooden paddling to the revolver shape. Now, once you've got that taken care of, this is what you want to do next. We're going to start off with the entrance area, guys, and I would suggest moving your white stained glass pane closer to your quartz and your birchwood planks. It will be easier. So, starting from this corner block that we have right here, guys, do this sequence of blocks going all the way around your house. We're going to trace along the top of the shape. So starting from here, do this sequence of blocks. Do 1 birchwood plank, then 3 white stained glass pane, 1, 2, 3, then 1 birchwood plank, then 1 quartz block, then leave a gap, by the way, guys, and if you like, you can also knock out that birchwood block, and you can place a quartz underneath the quartz that you already placed. So you want to leave a gap, then you can knock out that birchwood block, place a quartz, and then place one on top. And then we can continue going right. That's actually where the entrance is going to be, guys. And I actually pretty much nailed it with that random quartz block that I placed earlier. I pretty much nailed it. I'm quite impressed with myself. Nailed it. Continuing going right. So from this quartz block that we just placed here, do 1 birch, 3 glass, 1, 2, 3. Then do 2 birch. Then coming towards you, do 1 birch, 3 glass, 1, 2, 3, 1 birch. Going right, do 3 glass, 1, 2, 3, 1 birch, 3 glass, 1, 2, 3, 1 birch. Then going across the house, going right that way towards the back, do... And I need my plans for this, guys, because not all of the windows are perfectly even. Do 3 glass, 1, 2, 3, then 1 birch, then 4 glass, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 birch, 4 glass, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 birch, 3 glass, 1, 2, 3, 1 birch. Then coming across the back of the house, do 5 glass, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1 birch, then 8 glass, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 1 birch, then 5 glass, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1 birch, and this is where things get a little bit complicated. So this is where the house kind of separates itself, and that's why I'm doing it like this. So after you've just placed your 1 birch, you then want to go right of that birch by 1, then do 1 white stained glass pane, then do 1 block of quartz, then place a block of quartz underneath that quartz, but also go on top of that quartz by 2. 1, 2. Then go right of that second quartz by 3. 1, 2, 3. Then go down from that third block like this, and also knock out that birchwood plank underneath it. And you can also clear out those 2 birchwood planks right there. So you want to have it this shape, just like that. And what you then want to do is you then also want to knock out this birchwood plank underneath that glass pane right here, and you want to do the same on the opposite side, and you also want to place a glass pane on top, just like that. And then we can continue going round, guys. So, once you've placed that glass pane, or these 2 glass panes on the right hand side, continuing going right, we just do 2 birchwood planks. Then, coming across the left hand side of the house now, we want to go right with 3 glass pane, 1, 2, 3, 1 birch, 3 glass pane, 1, 2, 3, 1 birch. Then coming across the front of the house again, we want to do 3 glass pane, 1, 2, 3, 1 birch, 3 glass pane, 1, 2, 3, 1 birch. Then do an additional birch because I meant to say 2. Then coming towards you, you just want to do 1 birch, then 3 glass pane in the center. So just for that little final corner bit, you want to do 2 birch coming towards the center, then 1 towards you, then 3 glass pane. You guys can see exactly how that's ended up. And what we've essentially just traced out there is where all of the windows are going to be, and that's actually going to be very, very helpful for the second level of the house as well. So once you've got all of that mapped out, guys, this is what you want to do next. So we want to start off by adding 2 additional layers on top of this layer that we've added. So for instance, on top of the birch we want to do 1, 2, on top of the birch 1, 2, but also on top of the glass we also want to do 1 and 2, just like this. So we want to go all the way around the house, and we want to add 2 additional layers on top of that layer right there. The only place where this doesn't apply is, for instance, where we have the entrance to the house right here, which will look a little bit like this. The entrance to the house, you kind of do bring up the quartz and then connect it at the top, but then you have a little bit of glass in the center middle just so that everything's kept a little even. But also you want to come to the back here, and as a matter of fact, at the back here it still reigns true. It's only with the entrance at the front is anything different. So we've done the entrance to the house, everything else just wants to be done exactly like I've just described. So we now just want to add 2 additional layers on top of that base layer, which is exactly what we're going to do, guys. So I'm going to do all of the birchwood planks first, and then I'm going to do all of the glass, because I will find it easier to do that way. But all that really matters is that in the end, you end up with, in total, 3 rows of what we have there. So it will just be a nice mixture of birchwood and glass. So I've just about added all of the birchwood planks, and now I just have to add in the glass, which is not fun in any sort of way, guys, because, of course, it is a little bit difficult to manage. So we're just adding in all of the glass pane now, guys, and this is definitely going to take us a little bit of time. And I do have some relatively bad news for you guys, because all of this glass that we're adding on the bottom floor of the house, we're actually also going to have to add this on the second floor of the house as well. The second floor of the house is actually near enough identical to the first floor. The only difference being is that we just don't have the entrance on the second floor. Otherwise, all of the window placements are identical. The house is ratioed the same. There's still like the same amount of quartz and still the same amount of birchwood planks. The only difference being, of course, like I said, is the entrance is up there, or the entrance isn't up there, I should say, and we just have an additional window, which is the same size. So we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. But what I'm basically getting at is this house is quite simple. This house is really easy. Nothing complicated about it, really. And the only irritating thing, of course, is that we have all of this glass to add, which is just highly uncooperative, unfortunately. So we've not got that much more to add in on the lower half of the house, but we will have a little bit more later on. And the roof is ever so slightly, it's not irritating to build exactly, but the roof is kind of like, there's a little bit of working out to do with the roof. There's that's the only thing that may trip you up other than the stupid glass, which has actually been working with me all the way up until now. So guys, that is what you want to start off with. You want to have done that first additional layer going all the way around, marking out the windows, and then you want to have added 2 additional layers on top of it to give you this. What are you going to be doing next? You're probably wondering to yourselves. Well, once you've reached this point right here, we now want to add an additional layer of birchwood planks directly on top of the house. So we now just want to trace along the top of our house with our birchwood planks. So we just want to go all the way around, and hopefully a little less sloppy than what I'm doing. I cannot place these things. You just want to go all the way around the top of the house, just tracing along the top with your birchwood planks, exactly as I'm doing now. So just go all the way around, and you should end up with something that should look a little bit like this. There you go, guys. Perfect. That's exactly what you want to have. Now, once you've done that with your birchwood, you now want to do this with your block of quartz, except it's not as easy. So with the quartz, what you want to do is you want to do pretty much the exact same thing, except you don't want to include like this little left part of the house. So you want to trace along the top of your house with your block of quartz. However, you don't want to include this little bit on the left hand side here. You just want to do the house like this. So we now just want to trace along the right hand side of the house with our quartz. We do not want to include that little left bit there. It's not invited. We don't want it to be here. And that is that. So let me just do this, guys, and then we can continue on. So we just want to do that, and we just don't want to include that part of the house. It's as simple as that. So what we want to do next. We'll take care of like that left hand side of the house and like the front part of the house a little later on. We'll focus on this right hand side first of all. So what do we want to do now, guys? We now want to take out our birchwood planks, and we now want to add an additional layer on top of the quartz layer. So we now just want to do the same thing that we've done a couple of times already, except we now want to do this with our birchwood planks. And what we're essentially starting off doing, we're essentially doing exactly what we did just about, I'd say, 10 to 15 minutes ago. We're now just adding on the second layer of the house, and we're doing the exact same thing that we did, where we've just added the quartz layer, we've then just added the birchwood plank layer, and now we're going to be adding in all of the windows, guys. So the windows, like I said, are actually 100% identical to those that are just below you. So just to give you an example, this is how the windows are going to look on this little front part of the house, and I've included this part just to show you where it's going to go just above the door. You can see that the layout for the second floor of the house is identical to the ground floor of the house. So all you have to do, guys, is just look slightly below you, and you just have to copy the layout for the ground floor of the house, and you just have to copy it for the second floor. So I'm not going to give you the instructions on how many windows to place where. Whoops, how did that get in there? How did the quartz stairs get in there? But what I'm going to do is just show you. It's quite simple. You just have to look directly down, and you just have to copy where you have glass, place glass, where you have birchwood planks, place birchwood planks. Oh, I suppose that it does get a little bit crazy on the side here, but it's actually very easy to deal with. So on this far left hand side, since you can't actually see it here, you're still doing the same thing, although you just can't see it. So you'd place 3 glass, 1 birch, 3 glass, 1 birch, 3 glass. So just to show you guys from the side view, we actually have the exact same thing. Oh, I suppose that we have a window of 4 in the center there, but you guys get the idea. So on this far side, I suppose I should make a bigger deal of this. On this left hand side, just above the little point that you've just cut off, we have a window of 3, space, window of 4, space, window of 3. And that is how the second floor is going to go, guys. So what are we going to do next, do you wonder? Well, what we're now going to do, once you have it mapped out, we're going to add 2 additional layers on top of it. So with the birch, 1, 2, with the glass, it'll be, this is a little awkward, 1 and 2, and we'll just go all the way around. But you know what? Since there is a birchwood plank layer coming right after it, I think I'm going to add in the birchwood plank layer on top, and that might make placing the glass ever so slightly easier. So I'm going to raise up each one of these birchwood planks by 3 instead of just 2. We are adding 2 layers of that, but like I said, there is going to be another layer of birchwood planks directly after it, which will then be followed by a layer of quartz. So what I'm hoping to do here is make the placing of the glass ever so slightly easier, because the glass will actually have something to grip onto, and then that way the glass, the only row that we'll have to deal with is the middle row, and hopefully that won't be too much of an issue. I hope. That's what I'm hoping, I'm believing. But I'm connecting all of this together, so I've went up by 3 with the birchwood planks on top of each one of the birchwood, and then I will add in the glass. So as you can see, we now have very obvious spaces for the windows, and now I'm just going to do a layer of glass pane going all the way around the top. Whoops, my bad. This might not have been easier. Just going to place it underneath each one of the birch woods, and then I'll only have to sandwich a layer in between the 2 existing layers. I'm sure that you guys can see exactly why we've done that. So once these windows are done, by the way, guys, I suppose I should let you know what's going on after this. Once these windows are done, we will then add an additional layer of quartz on top of the birchwood planks, and there we go, that's all of the upper glass added. We will then add an additional layer of quartz on top of the birchwood, and then we will mark out the roof. We'll then fill in the roof. We will then mess about with the porch area, and then the structure of the house will actually be done, guys. That'll be that. It's not too complicated whatsoever. Once you've got the like the bottom floor pretty much done. Everything else I think falls quite easily into place. Yeah, that's a much easier way of doing things, and that would have been an easier way to do the ground floor. I just hadn't thought of it. So once you have that to the once you have done that to the second floor, guys, once you've added those 2 additional layers, plus you have your birchwood planks on top, whichever way around you've done it, you might still have to add the birchwood planks. Once you've reached this point right here, all you want to do now is just add a layer of quartz block going all the way around the top of your birchwood planks. So we just want to go all the way around the top, and we just want to trace along it. That's all we have to do, guys. That is all we have to do. Nice and easy. Nothing too difficult about this whatsoever. And then, like I said ever so slightly earlier, we will then sorry guys, getting a dry throat. And then we will add in the outline for the roofs. So you want to end up so far with something that should look exactly like this. Perfect. Now, once you've reached this point right here, guys, this is what you want to do next. We'll start with the smaller roof first of all. So come to the front right hand side of the house. With your block of quartz starting from on top of this block, place a quartz block. Then do 3 upright diagonals. So that's 1, 2, 3. Then do bottom right diagonals until you connect to the top part of the house. So what you essentially want to do is you just want to form a triangular shape like this. Place 3 upright diagonals, then do 3 bottom right diagonals to connect to the top of the house. And you know what, guys, whilst we're here, why don't we fill the center part of this in, because we'd have to do it later otherwise. So you then just want to fill the center of your shape in like this. You basically just got those 4 glass pane in the center, then you've got birchwood planks going all the way around, and that is that, guys. That's how you want to fill that in. Now, once you've got that taken care of on the front side of the house, we now have to do this a couple more times. So coming to this side of the house, the far left hand side of the house, you want to, starting on top of this quartz block right here, place a quartz block. Then do 5 upright diagonals. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then go right by 1. Then do bottom right diagonals until you connect to the opposite top part of the house, and you should connect right there to form a triangular shape that should look like this. Of course, this isn't as pointy as the one on the front, but you guys get the idea. And we may as well fill this in whilst we're here. So this is actually really easy. You're just adding a layer of birchwood planks that goes all the way around the inside of your triangular shape, and then we're just going to fill this center part in with white stained glass paint. So you just want to end up with something that should look exactly like this. And not only do you want this on this side of the house, guys, but you also want to do the exact same thing on the opposite side. So we're on the opposite side here. On top of this block, place a quartz, then 5 upper left diagonals. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then go left by 1. Then do bottom left diagonals until you connect all the way up to the top of the framework of the house. The exact same thing that you did on the opposite side. You don't have to count out the bottom left diagonals. You should be fine. And once you have your triangular outline, all you have to do, of course, is fill it in the exact same way that you filled in that opposite side there. So just use your birchwood planks and go all the way around the inside of the shape, and then just fill in the center portion here with your white stained glass paint, and you should end up with something that should look exactly like this. And that is absolutely perfect, guys, identical to what we have on the opposite side. So once you have each one of your 3 triangular outlines taken care of, this is what we have to do next. So we now have to actually make the roof for this thing. It is not really difficult, but it is difficult to explain. So the way that I'm going to do this is I'm going to build this, and I'm going to talk about it as I build it, because I don't think that I'm actually going to be able to explain it in a really, understandable fashion, but it's so easy anyway that I'm sure that you guys won't have any issues whatsoever. So the roof, the edges of the roof, so like the first part of the roof that is kind of like in line with the top of the house, those bits are going to be quartz stairs, and the bits that overhang the house as well. So like the end bits that overhang like the triangular portions of the roof, those are also quartz. However, the middle bit, the fleshy part of the roof, is going to be made of stone brick stairs, as you can see. So you can see that all of the overhanging parts of the roof, and of course the roof overhangs on the front, the left and the right hand side. The bits that overhang are quartz stairs, as you can see, and then the middle bit is stone brick stairs, and that applies to all sides of this thing. So let's get this cooking a little bit. So the only way in which this roof is ever so slightly complicated is because you've got to connect this front little part to the big back part of the roof. So that's the only way in which it could be ever so slightly complicated, but guys, it's not so difficult really. So let me just do it, and then I can just show you as I go along. I'm trying to give you decent views of this as we go along, and I'm just pointing out I'm going to point out relevant bits. So just to show you guys on this side of the roof here, you might be wondering like how far does this part of the roof come down with like the stairs that overhang. It comes all the way down to here, so all the way, so it's like in line with this quartz. We have like sideways stairs overhanging the roof. I just thought that I'd point that out. So let's do this first part, this front part of the roof first, because this is obviously the hardest part. And just to say again, guys, this bit it's not hard, it's just difficult to explain, which of course makes me always, you know, I try and over-explain things when I can't really explain them, and usually it's not even the case that things are difficult. It's just because I can't explain it, because I can't put it into words, that's why I begin thinking that, you know, it's somewhat difficult. But it's really not. It's quite easy to do, really. It's like any other roof that you've made of this fashion, like where the roof's smaller or where you've got to combine roofs together. I mean, it's something that, you know, you can't really explain. It's something that you kind of just have to, have to look at and do and kind of like figure out. And of course, where you can see like the stone like facing a particular direction, like the stone stairs, do make sure that it actually like folds around that way. Sometimes the stone stairs get a little bit confused and they don't always do that, but as you can see, we've actually done the portion where we have like the front part of the roof connected to the back part of the roof, and we've just got one more row of stone brick stairs to do, and then I can just show you guys what it looks like, and that'll be the front part of the roof done. It's really simple. So just to show you guys, this is exactly what it should look like on the front so far. Of course, we have to do a couple of things to the roof, but we'll do it once we've actually got like the main part of it taken care of. So that's how it should look, guys. The only reason that it looked ever so slightly complicated to explain is because the front part of the roof, the mini part, is smaller than the larger part. That's the only reason, and you can see that I'm already moving on to the back part of the roof, just because I'm doing this on recording and it has to get done, so I don't really want to hang around the front part. But the back part of the roof really doesn't require any explanation whatsoever, of course, because all you have to do is the exact same thing that you did on the front part of the roof, except it's like 10 times easier, because all you have to do is like just build up rows and rows and rows in like a triangular shape. You don't have to put any effort into it whatsoever. It's just quartz going all the way around the edge of the roof, and then stone brick stairs everywhere else. So that's exactly what we're doing, guys. And now we're just building up the stone brick stairs part. Whoops, there we go, and there we are, got it lined up now. And that's it, guys, that's the roof. It takes a little while to do, because the roof is ever so slightly bigger, and it's ever so slightly more complicated than just a regular roof, but it doesn't mean that it's difficult to do. It's just a little bit time consuming. So what are we doing now? So we're currently just filling in the back of the roof. Then what we'll have to do is we have to add an apex to this big middle part of the roof, and we will also have to add a little bit of quartz and some upside down quartz stairs to the other parts of the roof. So as you can see, that is the entire back part of the roof filled in for the most part. There you go. Don't really have to show it you too long. I'm sure that you guys get the gist of that. And what you want to do once you've done that is we then want to add 2 layers of quartz stairs on top of the top part of the roof. So we want to make it look all pointy. We want to have an apex at the top of the roof there. So that is what you want to have. You just want to have 2 sets of quartz stairs back to back, just like that, right at the top of the roof, making it look nice and pointy. What else do we have to do? Well, on the front part of the top roof we just want to take out our quartz slabs, and we want to do a similar thing. We kind of just want to make the roof look pointier, except of course we're just using quartz slabs. So you just want to do that on the front part of the roof right at the top there, and then all you'll have to do is upside down quartz stairs underneath each one of Oh, not that one, not that middle one though. Underneath each one of the overhanging quartz stairs. That's all you'll have to do. So that's the front part done. Let's move on to both side parts now. And once we've done that, we actually have very little to do. And the parts after this are really, really easy. So we're just adding in the upside down stairs now. We've almost got one side taken care of. Boom, that's one side. Let's move over to the opposite side now. So the opposite side, we're just doing upside down quartz stairs, as you can see. So let's just add all of these in, and then we can move on to the next bit, which, like I said, is very, very simple and won't require much effort or thinking on your part whatsoever. So you just want to end up with a roof, and let me see if I can get both of those, with a roof that should look exactly like that, and it's looking pretty nice if you ask me, guys. So once you've got the roof completely taken care of, and you might still be working on it, so pause this if necessary, of course. Once you've got that taken care of, we can now move on to the next bit, guys. So what do we have to do now? Well, we have to do the outline for the porch and the porch itself. So come all the way over to the left-hand side of the house. You're looking for this like front left-hand corner block of the house right here. From this block, you want to drag this block forward with your quartz until it is equal with the front part of the house, the most front part of the house on the right hand side, and then you want to connect it all the way over to the front. So you kind of want to turn the house into like a rectangular shape, like this, if you guys can see what we've done there. You just want to do this with your quartz. You just want to add like a 90-degree angle. What you then want to do is just fill the center section in here with quartz blocks, and that will just be the porch, guys. And what we'll also have to do once we've actually filled in the center part, we will also add some stairs leading up to the porch, which will be in line with these 3 blocks at the entrance that we have here. These 3 right here, 1, 2, 3, and then we will add in all of the birch fence posts, or birch fence, what are they called? Yeah, just birch fence. I didn't think there was any posts there. So we'll just add in all of the birch fence that exists all around the porch as well. And then that'll be the porch complete, and then we've just got to do the roofy part. So we've filled in the center part now, guys. We're now just adding in the 3 stairs for the middle bit, which go here, here, and here. We just add in 3 stairs, and then all the way around the edge of the porch with our birch fence, we just go all the way around, and we just, well, we just go around the fence. I mean, it's as simple as that. There's nothing any more to say about that. So you just want to end up with something that should look a little bit like this, looking pretty nice if you ask me. Now, once you've got the porch taken care of, obviously pause this if necessary, of course, we can now move on to the next bit. So not only do we have to attach a roof to this little mini portion of the house here, but we also have to do one that kind of like overhangs the entrance of the house. Let's do it. So the way that we want to do this, 1 block higher and 1 block outwards in relation to the actual like top part of this little mini building here, we want to add a layer of quartz stairs that kind of like goes all the way around the top of it, except like I said, 1 block higher and 1 block outwards in relation to the actual roof itself, as you can see. Pretty simple. Now, once you've got that taken care of, this is what you want to do next. So you can see this front stair that we have that kind of connects to the house here. Well, if you extend this going out towards the front of the house, as I'm doing now, except more successfully, extend it out going towards the front of the house until it is in line with the edge of the porch here, and then connect it to the right hand side of the house like this. So you just want to end up with this shape. So you just want to have these 2 sections, one's a square, one's a rectangle. You just want to end up with this shape right here. And then what you want to do is you just want to add some quartz slabs directly on top of the 2 shapes that you've just made. So 1 block higher, or I suppose it's not even 1 block higher, guys, so half a block higher than the actual stairs itself, you just want to have a layer of quartz slabs just like that. So it will look like that, and that's just the little entrance, like the little entrance covering the little roof there, and we just want to have the same thing on this left hand side as well. And once you've actually done this to both sides, guys, you will have actually 100% completed the structure of the house. It'll be done after this. There's nothing more after this, guys. It's been a wild journey, but we've finally made it here. But we're still filling this in at the moment, and it does take a little while, but it still has to be done. And boom, there we go, guys. So once you have got both of those taken care of, you have actually 100% fully completed the structure of your house, and it already looks pretty good, doesn't it? It does. It looks nice. It doesn't look as though anything needs doing to it whatsoever. However, I am going to do a little something to it, guys, and I do promise that it is only going to be a little something. So this is the structure complete, guys. This is where the tutorial portion of this ends. I'm not going to show you anything or how to make anything beyond this point right here. So what I'm now going to do is I'm going to go away, I'm going to mess about with the interior, maybe, just maybe the outside of the house a little bit as well, and I'll be back and I'll show you guys what this all looks like. So I'll be back in just a moment once I've tampered with the house slightly, but the tutorial portion of this is over, guys. Back in a mo. Alright guys, so as you may or may not be able to tell, I have tampered with the house ever so slightly, the inside a little bit more than the outside this time. Let's take a look, shall we? So moving on to the inside of the house, most notable things that I've done, and you guys know that I haven't done much. I've replaced the floor. I decided to use some block of quartz, and I used that for every single floor because I wanted to keep things nice and light. The house is quite dark on the interior, which is why I have lit this place up like the 4th of July. There are torches everywhere. I also put in a load of staircases, which I used quartz stairs and white stained glass for, which look pretty good. I like using these because it kind of like blends in. It's not as obvious if I use stone, you'd be able to see it quite well, but if I use like glass and like quartz, it kind of just blends in a little better. I don't like it to be so obstructive, and I decided to put it on like the front right hand side of the house, this little wing that we have here, instead of anywhere else, just to kind of keep it out of the way. I mean, you can kind of put it anywhere. You could put it here if you wanted to, you could put it here, anywhere you wanted to, but I wanted to kind of keep it out of the way. So moving on to the second floor here we just have a massive amount of space as well. I didn't point that out. Have you guys seen how much space there is on this ground floor? It's just absolutely massive. It's huge. It's quite a bit bigger than most of my other houses. Now moving on to the second floor here, where we have a decent amount of space again, and we have the same sort of setup with the stairs, and I decided to keep the stairs kind of just confined to this right hand side of the house, just in this little like rectangular bit here, so all of this space is open. And I did include another staircase onto the next floor, which is of course the attic, which there's not that much room up here, but there's a lot more room than there is on a lot of my other houses which have attics. I mean, you can actually put some stuff up here if you like. It's nice and bright. Just remember to light the hell out of this place just to make it look nice. I mean, that's the whole point of like the light wood and the white stained glass and the quartz. You want to keep this place looking nice and light, which is the entire point of this thing. And that's the interior of the house, guys. I obviously haven't done like a proper interior because you guys know that I don't like doing that, but I just wanted to show you what you were dealing with the inside of the house. Space-wise. Oh, and also, it's a little dark underneath this porch if you don't do this or include some sort of other light source, maybe like on the outside of the house, but I put some glowstone underneath the little porch area here. And that just lights it up splendidly, and I think it just makes it look a little bit nicer. And of course you can't really see it unless you do look directly upwards. I mean, you can if you're on the ground, I suppose, but it looks perfectly fine. So that's what I did for the interior. And the exterior, honestly guys, I didn't really even feel like doing anything. Not because I'm lazy or anything like that, you guys know that isn't the case. It's just because I didn't really feel as though I needed to add anything. I kind of just added like an extra kind of like big porch area on the back here, and that's kind of all I decided to do. I didn't really think it needed anything else. I think that I didn't even think it needed a back garden or anything, to be honest with you. You could turn this space here into a big window, and then that'd be that. But this house is kind of moldable. If you wanted to make it bigger, if you wanted to add, let's say, I don't know, like a hedge around it, you could. If you wanted to add like a garden going all the way around the front, you could. If you wanted to have a layout where like you have the porch and then you have like a big garden going around all of the house, and then you can have like a big giant pool on the back, you could. Like I said, I'm just adding a hedge in now just to see if it'll improve it, because that's the only thing that I think might improve it ever so slightly, just get a little bit of color, but equally so, it might not. It might make it look worse, but that's kind of the point. You've kind of just got to see what you want to do with these things. I mean, does the hedge make it look a little bit nicer? I definitely think it makes it look a little bit more suburban, and an idea that I had is to, like, let's say that the hedge would come here-ish, but the hedge wouldn't come this far. Like an idea that I did have, and we'd do a path all the way around, I kind of had an idea where, like I said, the garden could kind of like expand all the way around the house. And what's the separation of blocks there? Like that's 3, so that'd be 1, 2, 3, 4 right here. And I thought that maybe like we could have a garden that traced along all the way around the outside of the house, and you guys can imagine that it would literally go all the way around, and you could have flowers, and you could have a path, and you could have anything that you wanted back there. So, really, I really didn't feel the need to add anything else to this house, guys. I think I kind of just wanted to leave it open, let you guys do what you're going to do to this thing. But as it stands right now, I think that it looks absolutely fantastic, and it goes very well with the previous Suburban house that I've made. Let's take off the UI and let's circle this thing a little bit, guys. So, hopefully, you guys have managed to make this thing. Hopefully you like this house as much as I do. I'm really liking these suburban style houses. I've only made 2 of them so far, other than like the Simpsons house and the Family Guy house, which really do qualify. They're pretty much like random, regular suburban houses. But hopefully you guys like it. Hopefully you've managed to make it no problem. And if you do like it, guys, I'd really appreciate it if you could give me a like, favorite, share, anything you'd feel like doing to help me out, I would vastly appreciate. You guys really liked the last one, so I decided to make this one for you guys, all due to suggestions. You guys wanted more, gave you more. Feel free to check out the card system and the links below down in the description for my various other house tutorials. I'll just link the playlist, but if you guys want to sift through those, I'm sure that you'll be able to find loads of stuff that you like. And I'll also link the previous Suburban house just in case you guys haven't seen that and you'd like to catch it because it is a nice looking house. Feel free to comment down below what else would you like to see next. It's completely up to you guys. I will give an attempt to anything that I think is possible, and I suppose that's it. So thanks for watching, guys, and I will see you in the next video.